This video is going to serve as a guided sports psychology meditation. It's going to be a meditation that I talked about a couple of weeks ago in another video called the pregame rope meditation. If you haven't seen that video yet, I highly recommend that you pause this video and take a moment to go watch that video so you can learn how this meditation works, what's the science behind it, and then after you've watched that video, come back here and I'm going to link that video in the description below. Now on to the meditation. For this meditation, I encourage you to position your body in a way that is relaxed yet attentive. So I would encourage you to sit down, but sit up nice, tall, and straight, feet flat on the floor, and hands to your side or on your lap. We can start with a few deep breaths in through the nose and out through the nose or mouth. Do a few more of those breaths. Give yourself the permission to extend that exhale as long as you would like. Now, what we're about to do for the next few minutes is called open monitoring. Simply, you are just openly observing which thoughts and which feelings come into your mind. I encourage you to not get too tangled up in one thought. When you've recognized that there's a thought that has come into your head, simply acknowledge it and then let it go down the stream of consciousness. If you notice thoughts that seem relatively unhelpful, just like any other thought that comes into your head during this practice, no need to get tangled up with it or try to figure it out right now. Simply acknowledge it, make a mental note to come back to it at the end of this meditation, where we'll have a little bit more deliberate time to process some of these unhelpful thoughts, or as I like to call them, ropes. Now, open monitoring is a skill, and the more you do it, the easier it becomes. However, it can be a tad difficult to do at the beginning. Some simple ways you can kickstart yourself into open monitoring is to imagine a stream with leaves floating down said stream, and every leaf is carrying a thought. There's no need to pick up the leaf. There's no need to get into the water and try to observe the leaf. Just acknowledge the leaf and the thought passing by and let it carry on to the next thought. Another way that I like to open monitor is by saying in my head, I'm having the thought that before all the thoughts that I'm having. So, for example, if I was having the thought that I was hungry, I would think, I'm having the thought that I'm hungry. And then I would move on to the next thought. The more times you do this meditation, the more often you will start to notice themes or repeat thoughts. And you will notice that you have a pattern of ropes, that there are a series of ropes. Maybe it's just one, maybe it's many, but certain unhelpful thoughts or feelings that you experience. Once again, no need to tangle yourself in these ropes at the moment. Just acknowledge them and let them pass on, and we will come back to them later. If you have become distracted, I encourage you to come back to the present moment within this meditation and to continue simply acknowledging the thoughts that come into your brain and then allowing them to pass. We will go about 30 more seconds on the open monitoring portion of this meditation. Continue to acknowledge and release the various thoughts and feelings that you experience. Now let's do one big intentional breath in through the nose, extended exhale. Now, throughout the course of the monitoring portion of this meditation, perhaps you notice some unhelpful thoughts, certain thoughts or feelings that you believe would not help you in your performance today. Those are the ropes. If you've been doing this meditation, perhaps you already have some familiarity with these ropes. Perhaps you even have a name for these ropes. Simply recognizing that these ropes are with you today will help those ropes untangle from you and not allow to pull you back from being your best self in your performance today. If you are new to this or you have noticed a new rope, I encourage you for just a moment, perhaps think about a certain name or title that you could give that rope. In psychology, sometimes we call this thought or affect labeling. And simply labeling those ropes, giving them a name and acknowledging them allows you to start to accept them and further distance yourself from them. Now, you may even want to take a second to plan how you're going to respond if those ropes appear during your performance today. If a certain rope is tugging at you, how are you going to respond to that? How are you going to shift your focus back to performance? How are you going to reset yourself? Or how are you just going to accept that even with this rope being present, you can still perform at a very high level despite the rope being tied to you? Let's do one more intentional breath in through the nose, extended exhale. Now that we have monitored which thoughts, feelings, and ropes are present in you today, and we have also quickly planned on how we are going to accept and respond to these ropes when they come into your performance, I just want to once again remind you that even with these ropes tugging at you from time to time, you can be an amazing and high performing athlete. It is very normal for every athlete and all the great performers to feel a rope every now and then in their performance. We're all human and you're no different. I promise you that even if you feel like today you have your B game, your C game, your D game, or whatever game you have, you can go out and perform at a high level because you're good at what you do. One more intentional breath to close this meditation in through the nose. Long extended exhale. You can start to reintroduce life into your body, wiggling your hands, your toes, slowly moving to your feet and legs. And when you are ready, you can open your eyes. Thank you for listening to this meditation. Good luck in your game today. Walk in, play hard, have fun, and rock on.